waiting it, ladies and gentlemen, until it pops.
Ahoy my hearties, what should I say? It's Friday morning and I'm going over to the Theatre Royal for the launch of this year's pantomime, which is Peter Pan. So I'm going to take you with me and we'll see what happens.
My name's Jonathan Saville, I'm the interim venue director here at the Theatre Royal Royal Concert Hall. Welcome to the dress circle of the Theatre Royal. Welcome to another pantomime at the Theatre Royal. I've been here, this is my 20th year doing pantomimes at the Theatre Royal. Probably should find another job at some point, but I say welcome, it's lovely to have you all here. I'm going to introduce you to the main man, the managing director of Kudos now, Michael Harrison.
It's terrific to come to Nottingham. It's one of the great theatres in the UK. We were just talking this morning that the audience is so loyal here, and just standing in that auditorium you remember what a great house it is, particularly a great house for pantomime, although I've been fortunate to bring lots of other musicals throughout the years to Nottingham. It's very special for pantomime. The auditorium has a great intimacy, but with a stage that you're capable of putting on a big spectacular show, and of course Peter Pan is no exception. It's quite a new title in the world of pantomime. I mean, it hasn't been around as long as the Cinderellas and the Aladdin, so it's always nice every 5 or 6 years to put Peter Pan in. Obviously, lots of special effects with Peter Pan. Everybody wants to see Peter Pan fly. In this particular production, we have a huge 15-foot galleon which will drive on, sail on, however you want to describe it, on stage, with John Challis as Captain Hook aboard. 3D will make a return in the show. It's a fabulous set, great costumes, all of the things that you want in a Nottingham pantomime. And comedy, of course, and we'll get to that later when we talk about Mr. Pasquale. But first of all, I'd just like to introduce you today to two of the younger members of the cast, two of the key roles. Certainly what the kids all ask for. I've got a little boy, and the first thing he says to me is, who's playing Peter Pan? Who's playing Tinkerbell? Well, our Peter Pan and our Tinkerbell are here today. Please give a lovely round of applause to Jack McNeil and Lucy Evans. These two lovely people, well actually I've got a bit of association with both of them. So Lucy, we first worked together with Joe when we did Sleeping Beauty at Birmingham Hippodrome, which then kind of toured the UK for about 8 years, I think.
Yeah, I think I definitely clocked a good 6.
Yeah, well you did 6, and it came here, so that you're no stranger to Nottingham. And you played Tinkerbell before?
Yeah, this is year 5 for Tinkerbell.
5 years, and I would like to point out, ladies and gentlemen, the ears here, you know.
I did make them myself.
The effort, homemade ears, which is terrific. And Jack here, Jack worked for us in Darlington, playing one of the dwarfs in Snow White. And we did a kind of Lord Farquhar Shrek style on his knees. So you'll be grateful to have a Christmas on your feet this year.
Woohoo! Promotion.
And you're kind of, you know, recently graduated, getting into the world of musicals, but pantomime's quite important to you.
Yes, pantomime is always important to me. It's a wonderful time of the year. I graduated about a year ago now, so I'm fresh and I'm still new to it all. So I'm very much looking forward to working for Kudos again, because they just produced the best pantomime. So I'm thrilled to be here. Yeah.
Great. Well, you can get a wage increase for that. Thank you, and we're really looking forward to having you both here in Nottingham. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Jack and So no pantomime is complete without a villain, and of course one of the most famous characters is Hook. We're really lucky, and again he's no stranger to Nottingham, but we're very lucky to have this year one of Britain's most famous comedy actors playing Captain Hook. Please give a huge round of applause to John Challis. Get on ready, John, you were here before as Captain Hook.
Yes, I did. Some years ago, I can't remember how many years ago it was, but what a fabulous theatre. We had a great time doing it with Deborah Stevenson was hosting that one. So I don't know how many years ago that was, but unfortunately Captain Hook failed and got eaten by a crocodile. It happens every year. But this year's going to be different. Okay, I hope.
So John, you were obviously very, very well known for one of the most famous sitcoms in British television. Recently in another famous sitcom, Benidorm. But what is it about pantomime for you? Because a lot of TV work, but you always turn up in the theatre. You always turn up in pantomime, and you tour in plays and one-man shows. What is it about a live audience?
Well, it's what I first fell in love with when I was about 6 years old. My parents actually took me to see Peter Pan, the musical play in London, and I just got blown away by the theatre. And I said, that's what I want to do. And I actually fell in love with Captain Hook, and I thought he was fantastic. Didn't care about the kids.
No.
The romance with it was him, and I sort of became him, apparently, according to my mother, for about 3 months. Which embarrassed her greatly. But I've had a love for the theatre ever since then. I grew up, went all through rep and so on, and I always want to go back to live theatre. And pantomime, the second thing I saw was pantomime. It's just marvellous to be able to do it. And, it took me 50 years to get to play Captain Hook, but I've done it about 6 or 7 times.
It's one of the great roles, isn't it?
Yeah.
And pantomime is, I always say, when people ask me about pantomime, I always say it's an art form in itself, isn't it? Ballet is an art form, opera is an art form. If you can deliver Shakespeare, and pantomime can sometimes be frowned upon. But it's really serious, and you take it, I know, you take it very seriously.
Yes, I do. Well, I'm very artistic, that's why. It says here. I agree. I think it's very important. It's the first thing that kids see, usually, isn't it? And I think it's very important to do it properly and not to muck around too much. I've seen a lot of pantomimes where they do seem not to take it seriously at all, but I know it looks a bit unserious. Some of the jokes, the worst jokes in the world, but it's worth doing properly. And I think you've got to have the balance right. And I think, there's a few jokes about Captain Hook. The evil influence in it is very important to have that balance, so good eventually triumphs over it. And that's the tradition, and it's a great English tradition. So more power to his elbow.
Fantastic, John. I know everybody's thrilled that you're coming here this Christmas.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to a great show, ladies and gentlemen. John Challis.
Thank you very much.
On to a really important part of pantomime, which is comedy, of course. Comedy is so important in pantomime. I would say the two most important things are comedy and magic. Not magic tricks, but magic in terms of spectacle. But you've got to laugh, and we're really fortunate that we've got somebody who really knows how to make an audience laugh. I'll say no more, I'll just say Joe Pasquale.
Anyone was going to be here, and look at you. You're all so good looking and also handsome. If you was on Tinder, I'd swipe it all to the right. But not that bloke there, ginger hair. Not him. Everybody else would be.
I'm going to leave you.
No, you don't.
You want me to talk to you?
Yeah, I like it when you talk to you.
What would you like me to talk to you about?
Look at it. Look, I feel like I've come third at the Olympics on here.
Joe.
What?
How many years have you been doing pantomime?
Can I kiss you now? 30 years, and it's my 30th year. Did you know it's my 30th year?
I did know it was your 30th year.
This is my 30th year.
Well, that's cause for celebration. A round of applause, I think. I wouldn't always say this, but there's not a lot of nice people in show business. There's some nice people in show business. John Challis is nice. He's really nice. This man here, I can honestly say, since I can't remember when we first worked together, but never a crossword, never a problem. Every theatre in the land wants Joe Pasquale to be in the band. So when you're lucky enough to get him in your theatre, the backstage, and I think it's because of the intellectual comedy that he brings to it, and the kind of seriousness that he takes to the show, what he brings to launch events like this. Everything is very serious, and the comedy's thought through. There's never anything childish. There's never any silly behaviour. Clever wordplay. I'm not being you straight. But keep going.
I'm going to keep inflating it, ladies and gentlemen, until it pops.
I could stand down here, I think.
How big is it yet? Is it big
It's
yet?
quite big, yeah.
Okay, it's not going to say that to me. I'm not going to lie, it's normally pops by there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start hyperventilating soon. If I pass out, just wait till I come to, I'll be with you soon. My careers teacher will be so pleased with me. As you were saying, right,
I don't think Sherry Houston did that last year.
last time I was here, I've got to be honest, how long ago was I here doing Pantomimes?
About 5 or 6 years
About
ago.
5 or 6 years ago. Last, the mayor changes every year, is that right?
Yes.
Yes. The last time I was here, we had one of these do's after the opening night, and the mayor was there. I had to meet the mayor and his wife, and she was very lovely. She was quite rotund, if it's the right word to use. And she was at the buffet table. They had everything there. They had all the vol-au-vents and all the cakes, all that, and she was feeding her face on it. And the mayor was very nice. Oh, my wife is a big fan. Will you come say hello to her? She said, yes, of course we will. Where is she? It's that lady, and he actually called her rotund, which is why I used that word. And she was over there feeding her face like that. And she had the biggest vol-au-vents I've ever seen. It was the size of my head, this vol-au-vent. She was eating it like that. And she was waving at it, like eating it, chomping away on it. And as I went to shake her hand, I noticed there was a hair on the top of her vol-au-vent. And I thought, any second there, she's going to eat that vol-au-vent, and she's going to swallow the hair, and then she'll start going like, and I'll have to do the Heineken manoeuvre and all that sort of stuff. It'd be really embarrassing. So I thought, I'll get hold of the hair before she goes any further, before she swallows it. And I went, Mrs. Mitt, don't eat that vol-au-vent, there's a hair on it. And I grabbed hold of the hair and I pulled it off. And as I pulled the hair, her top lip came away with it. You never get a second chance of making a first impression. But you had to come see the show this year. What you haven't mentioned is the crocodile, have you?
Oh, the crocodile. I should have mentioned the crocodile, yeah.
Do you want to mention
Well,
it?
it's the, normally, sometimes in Peter Pan, you see this strange little crocodile come on, and it's a little bit disappointing because the kids are used to so much more these days. So we have a huge animatronic crocodile. It's fabulous. It's going to be the closer of the end of Act 1. And it's brilliant. It's very realistic, apart from the fact that it's so big, and it's going to look great in this theatre. And it's just kind of another layer of special effect to give the show what this theatre deserves, really. So it's a great moment.
It's the best crocodile. I've been in pantos in Peter Pan before when you've got paper mache bloke with an head on it. It's not even a real bloke, it's a paper mache bloke. And it comes out, and a couple of the teeth fall out, and then a ping pong eye falls out. This is worthy of Disney. We have these both called the twins, Paul and Gary, who are just exceptional at what they do when it comes to special effects. And with the 3D is what gives me the willies. I don't like the 3D because up close, when you're in the audience, it looks great. When you're on stage with it, it makes your head spin. You look like you're in some sort of a drug-induced coma. It's amazing when you're up there doing it. But for the kids, just to see it, sometimes you have to take the glasses off and look at them screaming at it. It's a spectacle in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, and loads of laughs as well.
There's a lot of laughs in it. Yes, thankfully, when I'm off sick. But it's going to be a great show. We do this, I've been doing it for 30 years, and as Michael say, a lot of people frown upon it. And it's not. If you do it right, it's the best medium out there. And as John said earlier, it's the first experience that kids get of coming to the theatre. If you get it right, you've got a theatre go all your life then. If you get it wrong, then you put them off. So that's why I think it's a very important medium. And as much as I muck about and I throw the script out the window on the first day, it's still an important thing for the kids to enjoy. And I think that I'm booked for that reason, though, to throw the script out the window, really, aren't I?
Yeah, well, you want danger, don't you? You want anarchy. There's a lot of anarchy with you, and it's rehearsed. It is rehearsed, and it's not for very long, but it is rehearsed.
Yeah.
But it's also what you bring to the rehearsal room.
Yeah.
And new ideas come up on the day in front of an audience. Something might work.
Yeah. He always says to me, "Have you got anything to bring?" And so I brought a balloon with me, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to find it somewhere, and it's well put it, ladies and gentlemen. And he always says about magic, and magic is very important in panto. Don't go away.
I don't want to
Don't go, stay with me.
I stay here.
No, don't come up here with me. I like you here. And the thing is, when it comes to danger, there's a lot of danger involved in panto, particularly when it comes to rubber and needles, right? And people don't like rubber anymore, and they don't like bangs, so I never go around Summers parties, right? But I face my fears now. I face my fears, and that's what I've done today, by bringing a needle and a balloon with me, ladies and gentlemen. I'll face those fears. No longer will I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning in a fetal position going, no, I don't want that rubber no more. It's not going to happen anymore, because I'll be facing my fears with these two implements of distraction. The needle of Nandimus and the balloon of Beelzebub. I will now pierce the balloon, and the needle will come out the other side. And this is bringing the magic to this lunchtime agenda that we have going on here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at all your faces. What's he talking about? I don't know. I'm on medication, so I'll get away with it. So I've got to pierce it. And you're going to say, has he done that? Because it'll go right there, and I'll penetrate there, and the balloon won't burst at all, because I'm magic, ladies and gentlemen. And the thing is, because a lot of people don't realise, right, I try and impress people by using big words. I use a lot of big words that I don't really understand to make me see more photosynthesis. People don't realise that. I don't like my next door neighbour either. I caught my next door neighbour in the garden the other day, so I threw a biscuit at him, but he ducked the jammy dodger. I'm a little bit sad today as well, because I split up with my girlfriend last week. She came home and caught me fondling spaghetti, so I'm feeling a bit cannelloni at the moment. She's addicted to the hokey cokey, but eventually she turned herself round. Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? See, you can't plan that sort of stuff. The bells of doom, that's what it is. Yeah, I saw a signpost the other day. It was coming up here yesterday. It was on a lamppost. It had a picture of a cat, big picture of a fluffy cat, and above the picture of the cat, it said missing cat, and underneath the picture of the cat, it said, have you seen this cat? Phone this number. So I phoned the number, and the lady answered. I said, no, I haven't. She started screaming, swearing at me. I said, look, he's not going to come home with that sort of atmosphere, is he, love? You're such a good audience. What's amazing? Some people, everybody's got a different laugh. Some people laugh out, ha! Some people like loads of laugh, ha, ha, ha. Some people don't laugh at all. Some people just go, oh, that's funny. And he just sits there and says silently, just go like that.
It's called the inaudible laugh.
It's inaudible. Okay, it's just not funny, you mean. That's what you mean. Okay, I'm going in. People say! You can get a bus ticket between your cheeks there, could you? People say, Joe, does a balloon burst often? And I say, no. Only once. That's the most dangerous part of what you're witnessing. If the balloon was to burst now, the needle would leave at a velocity of 68 miles an hour. I think you find that is a miracle.
You can't do any more because that's the act on and you'd have seen it all some fun. But I love working with this man, I really do. He's brilliant, and he's one of the best pantomime comics in the land. So, very lucky Nottingham.
I have to say as well, if you've never come to see a relaxed performance before, which is, how do you explain a relaxed performance? You're better doing this.
It's for people who normally wouldn't want to come and sit in the environment that the show is normally performed in. The house lights can be left at half. We will look at the show in great detail, so pyrotechnics might be removed, sound levels would be reduced. There will be areas front of house that you can come if you want to leave the auditorium, and it's just a better environment for those that feel uncomfortable going to it.
Some people disabled for whatever reason it is, and
it started off as kind of mainly for people, children or families with autism, but actually it's gone beyond that now, and they're really fabulous performances.
I have to say it's the best thing I've ever done in my entire life, was doing these relaxed performances every year, and I was shocked by it. I was shocked by the response that we got. And we get people that fully able-bodied and all sorts of stuff, and people that are disabled, autistic, all sorts of stuff. And there was I passed this story on there because it was incredible. It was in Wolverhampton. It's the first one I'd done one, and there was a lad at the front, and he was he was in his mid-20s, and he was autistic. And there's a certain point where we can't throw things out in the audience because it scares certain people, so that sort of stuff was cut. But they couldn't cut the whole thing because they needed scene changes. So they said, Joe, we need 5 minutes. Can you do 5 minutes in the front cloth? Where we fill the time where we can move the set behind. Said, yeah, what do you want to do? Anything you like. So I thought I'd just talk to him. And there was a lad at the front who I spoke to, just asked his name, just interacted with him. He was great. We just had a chat. And the woman sitting next to him was obviously his helper, and she was crying all the way through that little bit, and I had no idea. I thought, oh, I've upset her, what have I done wrong there? And it wasn't until after she came back and booked this lad with us, shook his hand, had his picture taken with him, and I said, why were you crying? And he was interacting with me as Michael is with me now. And he hadn't spoken for 3 years, and the first time he'd spoken was talking to me. Something he got from the character that I was doing in Wolverhampton. He got something that he connected with on that day. And the woman still writes to me every now and then, and he came out of his shell just from that one panto. So we don't realise the effect. We think we just do another show, we've got 68 pantos, what are we doing? And you don't realise the profound effect that one performance could have on one individual. So that is always in the back of all of our minds when we do this. So if you're looking at something interesting and it is a great show to do, it's just not a normal one, but it's still, for me, it's the best one of the whole run. If you want to come and see that, then I advise you to come see it. It's an incredible afternoon. And thanks for having me.
Thank you, Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to do some photos from the house now, and then the cast will be back up to do some interviews and also to do some personal photos as well. So,
Personal?
Yeah. Just Joe will do the personal photos, just the usual ones. I think we're going to take you this way down to the front of the building.
So after the launch of the Panto, I got to interview the 4 stars that you saw at the launch there. I'm trying to think what their names were. Obviously, we know Joe Pasquale, John Challis. There was also Jack McNeil, who is playing Peter Pan. He was lovely. And so was Lucy Evans, she's playing Tinkerbell. So if you do fancy going along to see it, tickets are on sale. Panto itself is running from Saturday the 8th of December until Sunday the 13th of January. Tickets are priced £18 to £36.50. There are discounts for royal members, under 16s and Go card holders. Schools and groups. If you want to book, you can visit trch.co.uk, or you can give the box office a call on 0115 989 5555. Eventually put a link to the interviews that I did on this video. I'm not sure when or where they're going to appear as yet. They are for the Nottingham Live podcast, which is relaunching, so really they've got to go on there first. So keep a lookout for that. Follow me on social media, and I can let you know when they are going to be uploaded. And of course, hopefully I will be going along to the Panto in December, and I'll let you know what I thought to it. In the meantime, thank you for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, do hit the subscribe button for my weekly vlog, shopping hauls, that kind of thing. Comment in the box if there's anything that you want to see, or if you've got any thoughts or memories about pantos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Try to